Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Border Battle Show. My name is Eli Merrick, and with me is my co-host, Tim Smith.
Hey.
And I don't know who Aaron Rodgers started dating over the bye week, but I don't like her already.
Is that your excuse?
Yes.
All right.
I don't know who she is, where he found her, but it's bad. Aaron Rodgers played horrible. He has to be dating someone else. There's
to be
no
fair,
other explanation.
To be fair, I was equally as shocked as you at the way that game turned out.
It was garbage. It started out good. Like, the Packers went up 10-0. They scored on their first possession, once again, a field goal. They almost got the touchdown, but ended up settling for a field goal. They're the only team in the NFL that has scored on every drive, every opening drive so far this year.
Oh.
And, but yeah, it didn't matter. Aaron Rodgers got in the end zone, did the Hingle-McCringleberry, 2 pumps. It was all
cursed.
good.
He got cursed for it.
He did.
The refs
get
cursed
for
him.
it.
For a team that usually gets all the calls.
I don't want to hear it, Tim. All the calls. Do you know that Tampa Bay didn't get called for a single penalty that game?
Oh.
Like, it was ridiculous. Packers got called for 6 or 7, a normal amount. But nothing against Tom Brady.
Maybe they just played a clean game. You ever think of that?
No, absolutely not. It's Tom Brady. He clearly paid off the refs. There's no other explanation. Man, I don't even know where to begin on that game. It was just disgusting all the way around. Rodgers, after he threw 2 picks. The first one was really bad. Like, he just straight up didn't see the guy, it seemed like.
Rodgers channeled his inner Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, he definitely did. It was just he kind of underthrew it, threw it lazy, didn't see a guy, pick 6. Aaron Rodgers, I will add, 3rd pick 6 of his career.
Wow.
Think about that.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. But yeah, so it obviously rattled him. He had only seen that happen 2 times before in his whole life.
Right.
So I can see that, rattling you a little bit. And then he goes around next possession, throws another pick. This one got dinged around a little bit. Devontae Adams had it on his fingertips for a sec, and then it went up, and that one almost turned into a pick 6 as well. We tackled him on like the 3-yard line. And from there, it was just over. Aaron Rodgers was 3 of 13, I think, in the 3rd quarter. And then Bakhtiari went down, and Coach LaFleur said, let's get Rodgers out of here. Tim Boyle came in and sucked. So,
nice.
38-10, final score.
I'm shocked because I think we both thought that it was going to be – I thought it was going to be close.
Yeah.
You thought the Tampa Bay was going to at least be their first real test of any sort.
Yeah.
And they were.
Yes.
But, man, I did not expect it to look like that.
The Packers did not pass our first test of the year. Not even close. Up till now, the Packers had punted 7 times so far this year.
Yep.
In this game, we punted 7 times.
Ouch.
Until now, the Packers Aaron Rodgers had only been hit 9 times in the previous 4 games. This game, he was hit 13 times.
They got to him.
Yeah.
How many of those were before Bakhtiari went out, though?
Bakhtiari went out in the 3rd quarter,
okay,
so
it was later.
A lot of them were pre-Bakhtiari injury, actually. And credit to Todd Bowles and the Buccaneer defense. They had the schemes. Like, even from the very start, Rodgers led the team down, and they scored a touchdown and a field goal early. But it was a lot of Rodgers getting it done on scramble plays. Like, nothing from the very start of the game, nothing was working like we had seen it work in the previous 4 weeks. Like, he was going to, obviously, his 3rd, 4th read, or sometimes just getting it done doing the Aaron Rodgers miracle stuff.
Or sometimes leaving Robert Tonyan open.
Picked him up in fantasy, started him, and Rodgers missed him for that 1 touchdown. It made me very sad. I also might have a bet going on Robert Tonyan getting a bunch of touchdowns this year. That felt bad.
I got some questions about your Packers.
Okay.
Because this is one of those things where it's like you get the first test and you're asking yourself, all right, is this just a stumble? Or are we not quite as good as we thought we are? Mm-hmm. So the first question is, do you think Tampa Bay is really that good?
I think Tampa Bay right now, you have to look at them as one of the best teams in the NFC. Do I think they're a legitimate Super Bowl contender? Maybe. It's a team that you're going to have to face in the playoffs if you want to make the Super Bowl. I don't think they're quite set up to do it, but they're a very good team.
Do you view them as the favorite to win the NFC South at this point?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So the next question I have is because I heard these rumblings that when Rodgers has a rough start, he just kind of gives up on games. And do you think that's what happened here?
It definitely could be. And there are some stats to back this up, as unfortunately – it pains me to say this stuff because I love my boy Rodgers. I think he's one of the best ever. I may have even said he's the GOAT before on the show, but there's certain things about him that is annoying. He has a 47% winning percentage in games where he has been down at any point. Mm-hmm. So it could be the other team kicks a field goal before we do, and immediately the Packers have a very 47% is 47%, but the top quarterbacks in the league right now, the guys that you are like, oh, these are the up-and-comers, these are Tom Brady, way better percentage than that. Mahomes, way better percentage than that. All those dudes that we consider elite have much better percentage in that category than Rodgers does. And, at this point in his career, that's not just like an aberration. That's a trend.
Yep.
For sure. And, just the body language that the Packers showed after they went down was really disconcerting. Like, you could just tell they looked defeated and just, I don't know. And I think Rodgers, when he starts not playing very well, he also becomes more conservative, I guess. Like, I don't know if it's like he doesn't want to hurt his stats or something. He already threw 2 picks. He can't throw 3 picks. So he just never unleashed anything anymore. It was all dink and dunk. And then the Buccaneers just Todd Bowles started calling on the blitzes, and they were getting to Rodgers. He got hit 13 times, like I said.
Yeah.
Way more than he had up until this point. Hopefully the most he gets hit all year. I could definitely see that happening. 4 sacks, and it was just all over from there. Something of note, though, is over the last 6 seasons, the Packers are 1-5 following the bye week. So, I don't know.
Huh.
I'm just going to throw that out there.
You're going to blame it on the bye.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That's fair.
Well, also, interesting stat. Matt LaFleur has only ever lost 1 game by less than 15 points. So when the Packers do lose, we tend to just go all out and get blown out. It seems to be the trend. So I don't know. It's like the Packers are, one of those like really good fighters that once they get punched in the mouth, it's kind of over. So, I don't think this game really is like the end of the Packers being a top team in the NFC. Like, I think the Packers are still an elite team, a Super Bowl contender, but teams have games like this, and things were bad, and the Packers just fell apart.
For me to phrase it another way, you could have made the case that going into this game, the Packers were head and shoulders of everybody in the NFC with the possible exception of the Seahawks, which is a case I would have made every single day. But do you think this places them closer to kind of the same tier as the other top teams? They're in the same tier as the Buccaneers now. They're in the same tier as the Seahawks. They're in the same tier as whoever comes out of the West.
Yeah, it's hard to look at, like, you would think an elite team would never lose a game like that.
Right.
Especially a game where, like, Tom Brady, for all the hype going into the game to be, oh, this is Rodgers and Brady, the duel, oh, man.
Yeah.
Brady played good, but he didn't, like, destroy us or anything. He threw for under 200 yards, I think. 166, 2 touchdowns. He was efficient, but it was, what is his name, Ronald Jones?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ronald Jones beat us.
Right. Dude, that's what bothered me so much.
You can't let Ronald Jones beat you.
I saw someone on the social medias, and I won't dox them, but they said that this ends the GOAT conversation, and I'm like, that is one of the most ignorant takes I've ever seen. And for context, as much as I hate the Packers, I will never say that like Brady's a better quarterback than Rodgers, and I also don't. I think Brady's one of the most overrated quarterbacks ever.
Yeah.
So like that's where I'm at coming into it, but I don't think this has any effect on, because I don't think either of them are the GOAT personally.
Yeah, but I would agree with that. And yeah, it wasn't the QB duel we thought it was going to be. The Packers, I would say, and it sounds kind of weird to say this in a game where it was 38-10, but I think the Packers lost the game more than Tampa Bay won the game. If that makes sense.
This is really cliche, but it's one of those things where the Buccaneers capitalized on the Packers' mistakes, and it just made it out of reach.
Yep. Yeah, the Packers gave them 14 points off of turnovers in a very short time period, and then crumbled.
Yep.
And you got anything more on that?
Nope.
Otherwise, I will transition into other teams that set up the other teams to score points very quickly with turnovers. Your Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, it's not looking great.
Kirk Cousins, 3 interceptions in the first half against the Falcons. What happened, man?
Well, I feel like up until now, I've kind of oscillated between, hey, maybe the Vikings can turn it around, or hey, this is a season that's over. But to all my fellow Vikings fans, the season's over. Just give up. There's only, I'll put it as simply as possible. The team that is most known for choking big leads couldn't even manage to do that against the Vikings. That's how bad the Vikings are. They gave up 23 points in basically just the fourth quarter. And the Vikings still couldn't hold him down enough defensively, which is supposed to be our strong suit.
Yeah, you made Matt Ryan look like an MVP. He looks so good.
Didn't he win? He won an MVP.
Did he?
Yeah,
I think he did way back.
The year they made the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because Matt Ryan was like, he was the hot stuff.
Matt Ryan,
Matty
40
Ice.
attempts. He was throwing it up and down the field. They did not let their foot off the gas, which, to be fair, is usually why they lose. This is usually why they choke the big leads, is because they never run the ball, and it's just Matt Ryan throw. He kept throwing, and it just kept working.
Yeah.
40 attempts, 30 completions, 371 yards, 4 touchdowns.
To be fair, when you have a
disgusting.
secondary that's been as rough to watch as the Vikings secondary has been this year, like, why not just throw it?
Yep. Yeah, Julio Jones looked like he was 10 years younger. He was wrecking your defenders. And then,
rough.
like, just the easy touchdowns. Did you see the 4th down one, like, late in the game? Where
No,
I don't even know what the guy's name was. You probably were done watching by that point. I don't even know what the guy's name was. Some guy I'd never heard of on the Falcons. And it's 4th down.
Mm-hmm.
There was no one covering him. He did like a little crossing route. Just crossing route. There's literally no one there. It's like 4th down at the 40. And there's just no one home. He catches it and just trots down to the end zone for the easiest touchdown of that.
They're out here playing Madden on rookie against the Vikings. It was rough, dude. So I mean, honestly, at this point, you're searching. We're all searching. We got to think, hey, is it time to pull the plug on Zimmer? Is it time to pull the plug on Kubiak? Is it time to pull the plug on Cousins?
Yes. It's hard to look at this game. Like, you obviously blame the coach a little bit whenever you lose to an 0-5 team.
Yeah.
Like, you just kind of have to. But Kirk Cousins, can we talk about how bad he has been this year? He was awful in this game. He's only a garbage time quarterback at this point. The only positive stats he's pointing up are in garbage time. He just throws picks early. That's all he's been doing.
It's painful because you look at the Vikings offense, you got wide receivers that no one's going to doubt are top tier.
Yeah.
You got a running back who, when he's healthy, is a top 5 running back.
Yep.
You have an offensive line that isn't completely trash.
Yeah.
It can get you the job done. And then you throw in a quarterback who's supposed to be good enough to get the job done.
Just got signed to an extension, by the way.
And look at what's happening. Like, you have to blame it on Zimmer and Cousins, in my opinion. Like, that's where the share of the blame should go.
Yeah. So far, Kirk Cousins. Guess how many picks he has through 6 games?
I think it's I don't know, probably like 7, something like that, something ridiculous.
10.
I probably just disappeared off the camera. I was in so much shock.
Right. And he said after the game, if the picks keep up, he won't be the starter by the end of the year. And he's right. Who do you have backing him up?
Right now, it's the great Sean Mannion.
That's embarrassing, Kirk Cousins.
That's how much faith we have in him. We're like, we don't even need a backup. But that's okay because there are free agent quarterbacks in this world. And we can pick some up.
Okay.
So up until this morning, I was all ready to present to all of you why the Vikings should sign Blake Bortles. I mean, this guy went to the AFC Championship game, almost beat the Patriots just a few short years ago. Like, who doesn't want that guy? That's surely more recent playoff success than Cousins.
Yep.
So, I mean, he's the perfect pick, and he's gritty. He can scramble way better than Cousins can. So, I mean, what's not to like about
I think
Blake
Tom
Bortles?
Brady showed more mobility than Kirk Cousins did.
But much to my disappointment, the Broncos signed him this morning to their practice squad, so there goes that dream. But that's okay. There are other free agent quarterbacks.
Oh, there are?
Yes. So at the top of my list is a name near and dear to the heart of many Vikings fans. You know him, you love him, Joe Webb.
Joe Webb.
So here's my question as I go through this list, Eli.
Okay.
If we had the guy I name,
yes,
would the Vikings have a better record than 1-5?
Oh,
so Joe Webb.
Okay. Yes. Why
right.
not? When's the last time Joe Webb played football?
I think he was on the Panthers. Okay. He did some kick returning for them, actually, which was super weird.
Well, that means he's more mobile than Kirk.
Yeah,
so
he's absolutely more mobile. So
okay. Yeah.
I can buy that.
I'll give you 2 wins. 2 wins with Joe Webb.
We'd be 2-4.
Nice.
Drew Stanton.
Sure.
Would we have another win?
Absolutely.
All right.
Gotta love Drew Stanton.
Trevor Siemian, who was our backup, and then we released him.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, he knows the system. You'd be 3-3.
All right. Josh Rosen.
Wow, what happened to Josh Rosen?
I don't know.
That's sad.
That's he was like, grace. I think he was on the Buccaneers practice squad, but it looks like they released him.
I'm gonna go no. Josh Rosen.
Okay.
Garbage bust.
Matt Moore.
How old is he now?
I mean, he's not that old. He's got to be around this. I feel like he's the same age as Cousins, like around the same age.
Yeah, you're probably right. Sure, he's an old vet, cagey old vet.
I think we'd be 4-2, honestly.
4-2, sure, why not?
Josh McCown.
Josh McCown.
There's a guy.
Okay, he
gets it done.
Great.
Right?
Remember all the good stuff he did for the Browns and others?
Remember when he made the Jets look almost competent for a year?
Yeah. Absolutely. He would be 3-3.
Okay. Here's a hot one. Paxton Lynch.
Oh, buddy. Is he still in the league?
I guess.
He's trying to get signed somewhere. He was garbage.
Okay.
He was really bad.
Why does it feel like all these quarterbacks have been through the Broncos since like they got rid of Manning? They've all just like
all these guys. Yeah, half the dudes you've named have been Broncos. That is true.
All right, and then the final guy I got, Cody Kessler.
Cody Kessler. Sure, yeah, 2-4. 2-4, absolutely, with Cody Kessler.
So there you go. We could probably go find Tim Couch. He's doing something, right?
Yeah, dude, you'd be better off with Tim Tebow at this point. Like, could you get him off whatever baseball roster he's on?
Yeah, we can do that, I think.
Yeah.
Baseball's over.
I think Colin Kaepernick's still waiting for a call, maybe.
Yeah.
This would be a starting job he wants.
I would absolutely say we're better with Colin Kaepernick. No doubt.
Oh,
but,
goodness.
To be fair, if these options aren't appealing to you guys, there are some trade options.
I don't know why they wouldn't be appealing.
I was just looking up some articles. There's a name being thrown around, so just let this ruminate in your mind. Sam Darnold.
Interesting. Where's he even playing right now?
He's on the Jets still.
Ew. Has he been benched yet?
I'm trying to think who their quarterback is.
He's garbage.
Oh, yeah, because they got Flacco.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he has been benched.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, he was a guy that was highly touted.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if he fits as well, honestly, but
yeah.
I'm willing to try something new.
Yeah.
So.
How about the boy that just got benched?
Yeah.
My boy with the beard?
Fitzmagic, dude. Bring it here.
Fitzmagic.
I'm all here for that, dude. That'd be great. We would turn it around.
What would you have to trade for Fitzmagic? Like, probably not much.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
I wonder how big of a contract he has. It can't be that big. I don't think it's a big contract. You know, they were.
I just think. Like if you're the Vikings, everyone can see how Cousins is performing. You call up the Dolphins and you say, "Hey, you know that quarterback that is your fail-safe in case Tua doesn't do any good, and he's been looking really good. He's probably looked like a top 15 quarterback this year, if not better. Like, hey, what do we have to get him?" And they're like, "Oh, we know you're desperate. Yeah, you know those draft picks you got for Stephon Diggs? I don't know. I think it would be higher asking price than he's worth right now at his age.
Oh yeah,
but
I don't know.
It'd be better than Cousins.
Yeah.
So
well, man, like seriously, an actual couch, not Tim Couch, an actual couch would be better than Kirk Cousins so far this year.
Jamarcus Russell still exists?
10 interceptions. Yeah, get Jamarcus Russell. Call him up. Like, it is amazing. And what really amazes me about the whole thing with Kirk Cousins is that you have a good offense around him. Like, I've always, and I said this when Kirk Cousins was originally signed to the Vikings when they made that move. It wasn't a bad move because he's a guy that if you put pieces around him, he's a slightly above average quarterback. Yeah. You put him at, he's maybe the 12th, 13th best quarterback in the league.
Right.
And if you put the right guys around him, you can win a lot of games and have a chance in the playoffs probably. But he has pieces around him right now, and he's playing like absolute garbage. And with the extension, get this. So right now, Kirk Cousins cap hit against the salary cap, which the Vikings are kind of struggling with. You had to get rid of a lot of people because of that salary cap.
Every number he names, just remember we had to give up Everson Griffin and Xavier Rhodes for this.
Yep, yeah. Kirk Cousins this year, $21 million against the salary cap. Okay, that's
That's
like
tight. It
that's
hurts.
that's a good quarterback salary. Next year, because this is the extension now.
Yeah.
Next year, $31 million against the cap.
That's got to be top 5 in the league, right?
That'd be getting there. Yep.
Yeah.
And then if that's not enough for you, Vikings fans, 2022, the final year of that extension, which most of that money is guaranteed, by the way.
Yeah.
$45 million against the cap.
Pretty sure only Patrick Mahomes is getting paid more than that. Like, that's
for
ridiculous.
Kirk Cousins.
If we had that kind of money, why didn't we go try to sign Aaron Rodgers somehow? I don't know. Pry him away from the Packers.
The Vikings are done. Geez. Go into full rebuild now. It's over.
I think we can do a quick rebuild because I think we have some good young pieces like Cook and Jefferson. But we have to move on from Cousins.
Yep.
There's no doubt in my mind. At the time, it was we're doing too good to get a good draft pick. He's the best available quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to do what you have to do. You have to sign Cousins, right? Or you wait for Bridgewater, which we really should have done.
Yeah.
But he wasn't going to be ready the next season. We had to sign somebody. It made sense. But he'd still be on the last year of his contract, not even hitting the extension yet right now.
Yeah.
So that extension is
The extension
bonkers.
looks so bad right now. The original signing of Cousins, there were the naysayers out there. I was never super excited by the move.
You could see a lot of the downside, but you also understood exactly why we did it.
Yeah, it was like he was the best guy available. You take the best guy available if you're trying to make the next step. But just thought experiment here.
All right.
What would have happened if the Vikings just hung on to Teddy Bridgewater, which there's been some rumblings that that's what Zimmer originally wanted.
Yeah.
You know, you just hold on to him. He recovers from his injury. He's playing right now.
He's
playing better than Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, he made the Panthers the second best team in the NFC South.
That's a bit of a stretch, but
I'll make that case.
Okay.
I think the Saints are that bad, but he's looked a lot better than Cousins. Like I would much rather have him right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, you take a couple down years.
Yeah.
The Vikings were trying to win now with a quarterback that wasn't good enough to actually get that Super Bowl win.
And
that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And then the extension. Spielman should probably get fired for the extension.
Yeah, I'm beginning to start to think that, the decisions he made are real suspect. But the other thought I just had was before the offseason, right before that offseason, or a couple weeks, I suppose, because it was still before the trade deadline, one of the teams that was looking to sign a quarterback made a trade, and they traded for Jimmy G.
Yes.
We could have made that trade because it was a very cheap trade at the time because people weren't sure what they were getting with Jimmy G. He was a highly touted prospect, but he'd been sitting on the Patriots bench for a couple of years.
Yes.
We could have made that trade, and we could have had Jimmy G, and we could have let the 49ers get Cousins. Jimmy G's, he's another guy you have to protect and put pieces around, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's not.
But you got to wonder if he'd look better than Cousins. Plus, he was in the Super Bowl last year, so, it can be done with him. I don't know.
Yeah. The Vikings are a mess. And, Zimmer's got to be on the hot seat right now.
Yeah.
We asked last week if you guys thought he would be the starting quarterback or the head coach next year. I don't even think he's going to make it through this year. Not if this keeps up. He'll get fired mid-season. The Vikings got to make some changes somewhere. And I think they're sticking with Cousins at least through the year. You're not starting what was his name?
Sean Mannion. Woo!
You're not starting Sean Mannion.
Maybe it was Mannion, but there was a guy we signed from the CFL because he was looked really good in the CFL.
Okay.
And then I think we released him, but I would much rather have him.
Yeah. And it's at the start of the year I was kind of oh, maybe it's because Diggs isn't there. Diggs was a big safety valve for Kirk, you could tell.
I still think that's a part of it.
When he was getting in trouble, it was I'll go to Diggs. But it's hard to I would say the Vikings have probably you could argue they have the best wide receiver tandem in the league right now.
Yep.
You could make that argument. Justin Jefferson has looked amazing. Pro Football Focus, who
still thinks they're both two of the top 5. So
yeah, has them as both in their top 5 so far through the year. Justin Jefferson is their top-rated wide receiver
now through week 6.
Right. This is unacceptable.
Yeah.
You got to make a change. What'd you say before the show?
Oh, I said Mike Zimmer's future's looking dimmer. It's time to say Gary Goodbye-ack, and I'd rather have Kirk's cousin than Kirk Cousins.
That sums it up pretty well.
It sums it up. On a slightly happier note, shifting sports.
Okay.
For all you depressed Vikings fans, if you're near a Taco Bell, you can go get a free one. It's courtesy of Mookie Betts and the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
Go get a free
cry
taco.
into your taco.
Yep.
That's all I
got. That's all I got.
And that's your World Series talk,
yeah.
everyone. Yeah, I actually watched the whole game. Can you believe that? That's the first full baseball game I think I've watched in years.
I didn't even watch the full game because the Dodgers were up 8-1, and I'm like, that was cool.
Yeah, it was a little gross. Dodgers look really good, but it's the Dodgers. They'll probably choke, right?
I feel like they will.
Okay.
This is all I'll say. We're not going to get into baseball talk unless you really want it.
I don't.
But I think the Rays are better built for the fact that it's a 7-game series with no off days. They're way better built for that. They have a better bullpen for that. So I think the series will even out. The Dodgers looked really good, and if you had off days, they'd probably sweep because they could rest their bullpen.
Right.
It'll even out.
Who are are the Dodgers starters behind Kershaw not that great?
They have a guy who's arguably better than him in Walker Buehler. He's really good.
Oh, okay.
But then after that, you got a guy named Tony Gonsolin, who's sounds like he's fine, but no one's ever heard of him. Like that's all I got. So yeah, after the 1-2, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Fun week for sports.
Yeah. By the time you see us again, we'll know who won. I think. Yeah, because there'll be off days. So yeah.
Pretty cool. So we only have one game to predict this week because the Vikings are on bye, and the Vegas betting odds makers, after seeing the Vikings' performance against the Falcons, actually have the bye week favored by 4.5 points over the Vikings. So we could pick that, but I feel like that's just kicking down a little bit. So
do you have an update on where we're at overall in picks?
Yeah. So obviously we got off to a late start, and Packers being only a pick'em, we've only officially picked 5 games so far. Right. But we are both 3-2. Last week, I got things horribly wrong when I picked Tampa Bay to win the pick'em, or I picked the Packers to win the pick'em, and Tampa Bay obviously destroyed us in
I made the same mistake.
A miserable fashion. And then I picked the Falcons to destroy the Vikings.
Yeah, you nailed that.
Which happened.
I teased that idea.
It's the old you get a new coach in there and they get fired up and they just the Vikings were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Yeah. It was bad. So yeah, we're both 3-2 on the year. Packers v Texans. Texans are starting to turn it around. They had a very rough start to the season. But they just took the Tennessee Titans to overtime, an undefeated Tennessee Titans team. They ended up losing, and they're starting to play better. I think Bill O'Brien sucks, and now that they got him out of there, I think they're starting to turn around for him. So it is at Houston, and the Texans are +3 at home. So Packers 3-point favorites. I'll go first. I think the Packers win. Pretty easy. It's a bounce back week. And the Texans just aren't that good. Their defense especially. They have a little bit of a pass rush. J.J. Watt can get it done. But if Bakhtiari's back, I'm not too worried about J.J. Watt. And their backfield is awful. So Rodgers gets the bounce back week. He'll be throwing it, slinging it up and down the field. He needs to prove his haters wrong again. And he'll probably do 3 pumps this week. It'll be great.
3 points. 1, this is a team the Vikings beat.
Yes.
2, I don't know what my second point is, so we're going to skip the second point. 3, future Packer J.J. Watt? ?
There has been some ignorant rumors. There's no way. The Packers' cap situation is bad. I don't think we can take on a J.J. Watt contract. So, Packers need to make some moves before the trade deadline, I would say. But J.J. Watt's not the answer.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the Packers' defense, it's not where we need it to be to make a run to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Things got to get better. You can't have Ronald Jones running it up and down the field and looking unstoppable on you.
I mean, he's a good running back, but yeah, that was way too much.
It was just bad. We were just getting beat. We were just getting
Ronald
out.
McDonald.
Just getting out muscled. But that will not happen against Houston. Houston is not the team they used to be.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson is still a good quarterback, but they just don't have the weapons they used to. Packers win. And they cover the spread.
I think I'm going to pick the same.
Okay.
Yeah. Packers win, Packers cover.
Cool.
We're on the same page. Which sucks because that means we're gonna have the same record next week.
Yeah, but that's okay. There's a lot of.
There's only
left.
one game. That's the only reason I'm okay with that, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of season left,
Yep.
and I don't know. You sure you don't want to pick the bye week?
I picked the bye week over the Vikings.
Okay.
They're gonna cover the spread.
Good.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we're on the same page.
Start buying your jersey with whatever quarterback you want for the Vikings next.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Do we got a poll question for the week? We did not plan this out before the show, so.
Wait, we did Zimmer last week, right?
Yeah.
We can do the Vikings acquire a new quarterback at any point this year?
Oh, acquire, or should we say?
Or we could just do if Kirk Cousins gets benched. Does Kirk get benched?
Kirk get benched. Yeah, let's do it.
All
okay.
Right. Does Kirk get benched?
We're gonna put that up on Twitter, at the Border Battle Show.
For real.
Or the Border
time.
Battle, I think is our Twitter handle. The Border Battle. So yeah, go check out our Twitter page, The Border Battle, and you'll see that poll question and other fun stuff. I like to occasionally react to some of the action on Sundays. So follow us there. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. We'll see you next week when the Vikings have licked their wounds.
And lost to the bye week.
Yep. Bye, everyone.